We are so excited to be here today. So the first time I met Paul, this is many years ago, I walked in and he said, Karen, I created this sun in a jar. I got this star in a jar. I'm like, you're kidding me. He's like, oh yeah, all that stuff you've learned, put it all in the back of your brain because I'm going to show you something awesome. Well, I'm telling you, this is an amazing invention. You can't buy this. Like, there's no way. But this is just to show off. This is to show off Paul and some of the really neat ways that elements work and that chemistry works. And so we want to just jump in here. And Paul, I'm going to let you take it away because there's no possibility I can explain this. Now, I'm going to hit rewind and watch this video maybe 150 times. I don't know. And then maybe I can say it, but take it away. You're
Sounds
amazing.
Great. So what this really is a oversimplification of what Dragon really is. It's combining a yin and yang energy frequency together, and they both attract. They want what each other has. There's value in that exchange. So contrary to what they teach in science, so we talked already about the periodic table is really periodic table of energy. The universe is actually magnetic and light. It's not gravitational driven. It's such a weak force compared to magnetism. Mm-hmm. So what this is I'm going to induce an electrical and magnetic field. This outer ball is the male or yang field, and this silver one inside is the yin or female field.
Fascinating.
So just like males and females like to do, they are going to go at it. So with no further ado, I'm going to now put this over in order to help adjust. And we're going to turn on a vacuum pump so that we can mimic outer space. And let's see, I think it's right here.
Now you've created a special generator for this. Is this what you're doing? So you've created specific frequencies, male frequencies and female frequency?
Yep, it's both male and female at the same time.
Wow.
But again, it's not canceling out because I've created space. I've created a neutral distance that they don't cancel out. They're actually, so every system in the universe is an oppositive system. Mm-hmm. So if you, like electricity for example, if you cut the electricity on one leg, the whole thing collapses. There's no system. Mm-hmm. So you have to have that send and receive, that yin and yang happening. If they come in contact with each other, then they can neutralize and cancel out like a salt or something. But what this is going to do is there's enough design in space that keeps it separate. And so instead of a sun actually being a fusion generator eating its own hydrogen and helium, and over time, it's going to use all of its fuel, the sun is actually being powered by something else. There's something else that's acting on that female field, if you will, that's creating that sun. So what you're going to see in here, as there's enough, the vacuum pump is pumping out the air, then eventually you're going to start seeing a orange dot, which is the male side, and a purple dot on the female side, and they're going to start reacting together. And then a purple plasma is going to start forming around the female field. Then it's going to move inside, and magnetism, not gravity, is going to pull it all together. And that plasma, or the baby of these two, is a sun. So it's in a womb in the female, if you will. So that's what this is. If it was a engine of fusion, then you'd have a super hot core, getting cooler as it moves out. But it's actually the opposite. Its atmosphere is the hottest. Its surface is so cool it's like 6,000 degrees. And then inside is so cool that you can see sunspots. You can actually look into the core, and there is so cool in temperature that's what a sunspot is.
So you're telling me what I've learned in school was not appropriate, was not
right. It's based on a gravitational theory,
and we believe that it is a magnetism.
Right, and magnetism is 40,000 times stronger than gravity.
Absolutely. Why is this purple? If it's supposed to be the sun, why is it not yellow? Explain the difference, please.
Yeah, so that basically relates to what kind of plasma is being generated based on the element that's present there. Mm-hmm. So the sun is yellow because of the hydrogen and helium makeup, whereas this is purple-ish, and it will actually condense into kind of a orange because it's mostly oxygen and nitrogen, because I just sucked out the air we're breathing to make the
excellent
vacuum. Yeah. So what this is really doing is a male field is sending energy to the female, and that relationship is producing this energy that's now moving into her womb, and magnetism is going to pull it together. So that's why I show this is an overly simplistic demonstration of why with the different dragons there's a male and a female, or yin and yang. And this is just a way to show that, but it's also cool to see a son be born. And so here in probably 5 or so, 10 minutes, that will get tighter and tighter and tighter, and it'll be an actual visible sphere. You'll actually see a little core, and it'll even shoot out a beagle jet of pure energy. So
awesome.
A quasar.
So the sun is sending out quasar energy to the Earth,
So yeah,
measured by, what's the term that the sun measures in?
Well, so something's feeding the sun. The sun then is feeding our moon and our Earth. All of that. Everything's being fed, and it's a system. So there's no such thing as immaterial matter, and there's no such thing as non-energized matter, right? Matter is capacitated to receive light and energy. So when the two work together, that's what's happening here with the sun. It's just that this is an example of our red dragon energy to kind of show. So what's happening inside that female is similar to what's happening to our blue dragon water. What's happening on the outside male is what happens to our male blue dragon water.
Excellent.
So different generators doing different things, but we're setting it up in a system. So as long as there's a system, and then that relationship can exchange, and there's value in that exchange, that's how everything works.
So what got you so excited about Eastern philosophy with the yin and the yang? When did you put all that together with Western science? When did this just get you and you got passionate and so excited to share this?
So as I started getting more and more formulas donated to us that were mostly Chinese to begin with, and then started moving Middle Eastern and then Polynesian, etc., I was trying to take an overly simplistic approach to the explanation of Chinese medicine and Middle Eastern medicine. Because Middle Eastern medicine is very focused on the energy component, or the red dragon side, and the Chinese is the matter component. And so by mixing the two together, it's I believe, a more holistic side to that. But the word dragon is actually, in all cultures and ancient myths, the dragon is actually a healing thing. And so now or a serpent, especially if it's flying. If it's a flying serpent, like Quetzalcoatl to the Native Americans, or the dragon to the Chinese, or the snake that was lifted on a pole to the Middle Eastern beliefs, it's all the same image of the caduceus, which is still what you see on every hospital and every ambulance, is that winged pole with snakes. It's a flying, vortexing serpent. And so that is a universal symbol of health, or long life, or longevity. It means all those things. And so taking in that and kind of mixing that all together is where we use dragon.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So Paul, this little dot of male frequency, and Mark, if you can catch that over on this side here, that's what's actually
the source.
Feeding the female frequency.
Yep,
So
that is what is sending energy to the
that's
female.
the source.
Yep.
And how is it sending that energy to it?
In a vortex. So all energy travels in a vortex. Scientists usually refer to the two-dimensional version. So as it spins, if you smash it flat, it looks like it's up and down in a wave. But in reality, it's actually a vortexing. It's three-dimensional. So if you're looking at a vortex from the side and you could see it, it'd look like a wave. It'd look like it's going up and down. But it's going like this, but it's really going like that.
A vortex. Excellent.
Yep. So all energy travels in vortexes.
And then a comment made earlier by Dr. Troy, you seem to have almost a field around it, like rings. Can you explain what those rings are?
So this is the male field that's on the outside, and then the female field on the inside. So the energy is acting on the actual metal field. Obviously in space, there's not this construct, right? It's all done through some method we don't understand, but it's this principle of energy is being sent from point A to point B, and then sent out again. So these tiny little, if you look inside the female ball there, the triangular piece, you'll start seeing like this purple fuzz shooting out. That's sending energy out. So that would be similar to like what our sun is sending to all the planets, our moon, our Earth.
So the sun is being fed by another source, by something, and then the sun is sending out to the world its radiation, its heat, its gift.
Right.
That's fascinating.
Yep. But it has to be a system.
It has to be a system. And a yin and a yang.
Yep.
Everything's a yin and a yang.
It is.
Everything.
Yep.
So I'm looking for it. I can't find it. Where did the male go? Where'd the male frequency go, Paul?
It's gone from a really dominant one source to kind of fading out, and it might be 30 or 40 different spots.
And it's feeding the female.
Right.
Now, what are we going to see next? I know I've come in here before, and there's been like this incredible strand of electronic activity happening. What am I seeing then?
Yep. Basically, these tiny little trumpets, if you will, shooting out in these little triangles inside the female ball, magnetically combine to be one quasar, and which is pure electrons. You can actually take a magnet and bend it, move it to the different part of the sun or whatever.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And what is the number one thing you've taken back after making this? What is the one realization you have? I know that you know magnetic field is obviously much stronger than gravity, but what's the big thing that you take home from this?
The big thing is that every system in the universe, atoms, the entire cosmos, everything's a yin and yang. You know, and everything's a system, you know, and our bodies are an entire universe of systems, and each system's a yin and yang. So as you breathe in, you have a particular pH that absorbs oxygen. But then when you breathe out, that changes, and the pH is now able to hold on to CO2 to let it get out of you. So again, and you have, so there's a yin and yang happening, but then you also have the respiratory, which is yin to the yang of the cardiovascular. And I mean, there's it's just on and on and on. There's no end to how many systems or yin and yang scenarios that you can find.
That's fascinating. Well, thank you very much. This has been great. Excited to get this posted and for people to see this amazing technology. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Been amazing.